All right, we are now going to talk about the groups in the Arctic. So if we're looking at our map way up here, right? So the Arctic region is located around the North Pole and it includes parts of Alaska, Canada, Greenland, and Russia. The territory is home to many tribes. The Aleut, the Yupik, and Inuit are well known groups in the Arctic area. Some people call the Arctic peoples Eskimos. However, the Arctic people consider this name disrespectful to their heritage. The indigenous original people that lived in small family bands. The early Inuit people were the last native group to arrive in North America. Hostile groups were in other regions. They decided to make the Arctic region their home. Each member helped to survive the harsh cold. They were strict on the division of jobs. Men hunted and built homes. Women took care of the children, homes, and clothing. Not many things were considered personal property. Items were shared as needed. Before a government was made, the Inuit tribe did not have laws. They didn't have an organized society. They voluntarily appointed a leader who showed good qualities. The Arctic people lived in a polar desert. It has a frigid climate. It's flat and treeless. There is permafrost, meaning permanently frozen ground. During winter, the temperature can reach negative 60 degrees Celsius. Due to this bitter cold climate, the territory has fewer food resources. The high country has permanent snow and ice, and the lowlands has some grass, sedges, and low shrubs. In the summer months, berries and other edible plants can be found, although there are not many species of animals that make this region their habitat. Some species of animals, as well as fresh water and marine life, are plentiful. The early Arctic people were adapted to this difficult way of life. They were great hunters and fishermen. There were few plants gathered in the summer months. This meant the early peoples had to rely on meat and fish for food. They hunted caribou, which are reindeer, musk oxen, Arctic hares, polar bears, and birds. They also hunted sea animals. They hunted whales, walruses, sea lions, salmon, and whitefish. Some of the sea mammals could only be hunted in the summer months. They would smoke this meat. They stored it for winter months. Some of the Arctic people were and still are known for eating raw food. Their belief is that uncooked food saves fuel and gives their diet essential nutrients that cooking could destroy. The peoples of the Arctic region are creative and resourceful. The early peoples used animal bones to make harpoons, spear-like tools for catching large marine animals, fish spears, bows and arrows, and fish hooks. They used the seal oil to cook meat and warm their homes. They made waterproof clothing from seal and walrus intestines. They kept them dry from freezing water and rain. They also created parkas, jackets from caribou fur to keep them warm. The parkas would often be removed to sleep. Sweating was not a good thing in this climate. Anything wet would freeze. They created the sacred drum. It was made by stretching an animal skin across a wooden hoop, and it was used in traditional ceremonies. They also made soapstone carvings and wall hangings. The early Arctic people lived in different homes throughout the year. During the summer, when they roamed inland for freshwater fishing and game hunting, they lived as nomads, or people that would wander. They relied on temporary tents they made from caribou hides and wooden poles. Kayaks and umaks, similar to canoes, were made with animal skins and used to travel by water. More permanent camps and villages were made for the long winter. Some tribes lived in igloos. These are dome-shaped houses made from thick blocks of ice. The ice insulates and supports the structure. Other tribes lived in sod houses made with rocks, whale bones, and sod. They were built around a pit, and in frozen conditions, dog sleds were used for travel. Dog sleds are still used today. The Arctic people have many traditional beliefs and customs. Animalism is the religious belief that all natural objects have souls or spirits. This includes animals, plants, rocks, thunder, rain, mountains, and rivers. The indigenous people have a deep respect for the spirit of the animals they hunt. They believe that illness and hardships are caused by misconduct or displeased spirits. Some treatments include atonement, which means making amends or saying sorry. These ceremonies are led by shaman. Shaman are leaders in the tribes. They use charms and dances to communicate with the spirit world. During ceremonies, the traditional shamans wear masks to represent humans and animals. The masks are believed to enable communications with the spirits. Other traditions they value include listening and Inuit vocal games. Listening is the most important tradition of many Arctic peoples. They pay close attention to the elders telling a story. They hold super still. They believe this improves self-discipline, positive thinking, and cognitive ability, which means thinking. Imagery is also enhanced and good for the mind. The Inuit people play vocal games too. It's also called throat singing. It is when a wide range of sound is produced from deep in the chest and the throat.